Hello, Kindred Spirits. Welcome back to Bits and Bob's Divination. My name is Caitlin, and together we are going to be diving in with the charms and cards to see what is most attractive about you. So let's go ahead and dive right in. Alright, so welcome back, my beautiful Kindred Spirits, and anyone new who may be joining us here today. I put out new readings every single Monday for pick a card readings, but I also do educational videos on charm casting and on art magic, so if you're interested in any of those more spiritual, witchy things, then definitely feel free to subscribe. But we are going to be looking into what makes you most attractive, most alluring, most magnetic to other people in your life, especially from the outside perspective looking in. So we're going to be seeing from multiple points of view, from people you totally know, or from people that you've just met at the grocery store. So we're going to be looking for multiple perspectives. But before we really dive into the piles here, I just want to remind you I have relationship readings open right now, only for the month of February. So if you want to get your own sort of Valentine's romantic reading, then you can do that. But I also have readings that you can get on any kind of relationship in your life, whether it's spiritual, familial, with a friend, with a family member, with a person beyond the veil, with yourself, or with a god or goddess even. So if you want to look deeper into any kind of relationship in your life for a snail mail reading where I send a letter to you in the mail, typewritten on a vintage typewriter, or through an email written reading that's just as lovely, then definitely feel free to check out all the information on those down below. They are a huge support to this channel and are directly being able to support this channel and keep it running here, but it's also a really great way to support yourself as well. So definitely feel free to check those out. As they are only open for the month of February. But let's go ahead and start looking at each of the piles here as well for you. So you're welcome to choose any or all of the piles here, but for each of the piles I have not only a little heart-shaped crystal, but also a key to your heart. So we're going to be seeing that as well. So for pile number 1, you may be called to this pile based off of this specific shell heart, or based off of the lucky clover of this key. So that's pile number 1. For pile number 2 here, we have a more ornate key with lots of hearts, as well as a piece of rose quartz here in the shape of a heart. So that might be calling to you for pile number 2. And then last but not least here is pile number 3 with this piece of Shungite, which has this more blocky shaped heart, as well as a more ornate key, or rather simple key, that might be a key to your heart. So that is group number 3. So as always, before you start heading off to the timestamps, I'd like to invite you to take a deep and cleansing breath here with me in a moment to really connect with your intuition, connect with your heart, and see which pile is really calling out to you. So let's go ahead and take that deep breath together here now. And you are welcome to choose any or all of the piles here. You can choose all 3 piles, you can choose a pile and change your mind, you can take bits and pieces as you go through them. There really is no right or wrong way. All the timestamps will be down below in the description alongside the chapter marks of this video. And like I said, if you want to get a snail mail reading or a very specific reading just for you on a galentine in your life or another very close loved one, then definitely feel free to check out those relationship readings. But we're going to go ahead and begin here with pile number 1. Hello, group 1. If you've decided to choose this little shell heart alongside the key of the 3 or 4 leaf clover, then this is the pile for you to look into and explore what traits and what qualities about you are most attractive and alluring towards other people, and in very different facets. So we're going to be doing that with the charms today, the letter tiles, the queer tarot, the threadbound oracle, and the Citadel Oracle, all of which I'll have listed down below in case you're curious or you want to reference what we're using here today. But like I said, we're going to be exploring multiple different facets of your personality, and not only what is most attractive about you, but specifically from other people's point of view. So even though there's things that we find attractive about ourselves or we think are attractive, it's interesting to see how others looking in might see the story differently or see other aspects that we don't even see about ourselves. So in the idea of working with the big three, right, like your sun, moon, and rising, we're going to be doing that a little bit today, more loosely, by playing around with the tarot cards to pull your big three. So we're going to look into how acquaintances and people you're just first meeting, new friends, new coworkers, what do they see attractive about you as a person, as a friend, or as someone they want to get to know. And then we're going to do a card on the other aspects as well, getting deeper and deeper into more deeper relationships. So let's go ahead and get right into it. I'm very excited. This is one of my favorite readings to do every year, so definitely feel free to send your energy in, really center your energy, put your own intuition and spin on this reading as always. And this is a collective reading, so, you know, maybe not everything is going to hit, but, you know, leave what doesn't resonate here and take what does. But let's go ahead and pull first off what the acquaintances in your life, the people you're first meeting, right, like on dates, on with coworkers, new friends, you know, interviewers, who knows, but we're gonna see what they see most attractive, alluring, charming, or interesting about you that really comes forward. Group 1 here. Ooh. Okay, so we've got 2 cards coming up here. I'm gonna see which cards they are and make a decision on which one really feels the most potent here. And interestingly, you actually got both the Knight of Pentacles and the Emperor, which are very similar cards in the fact that they show this very grounded figure, a very stable figure. So I might actually just keep both, but this is in your first aspect. So when people first meet you, when they first get to know you, you know, you're still just budding friends or just beginning a relationship with someone, just learning about someone, they're finding out that you're quite a stable person. Maybe you don't feel very stable, maybe you feel quite chaotic, maybe you don't feel like your life is as stable as other people looking in feel, but I do think right off the bat they feel this stable, grounded energy. And I feel like it's less about like, do you have the right job, do you have the money, do you have, you know, like more of the superficial items. I feel like instead people find you more attractive in the idea that you are just grounded as a person, at like your identity is very grounded. You know who you are, you know what you like, you know what you don't like, and you don't, you know, not that you never like change your mind on anything, but you know, you're very set on who you are and you're not letting like peer pressure or other people kind of push you around. And I feel like people can feel that grounded presence about you and this feeling as well that you aren't going to really take anything from other people that, you know, are going to let you be put down or be put down in it, or knocked down a peg, right? I feel like people just know you know who you are and you're not afraid to share who you are with other people, you know? So that's really beautiful to be seeing right off the bat. This isn't to say you aren't a stable person in other aspects of your life, but I really feel it specifically in like your identity, or your personality and the things you like and dislike. So we're gonna see a little bit further. So this would be like how your best friends see you, or a more serious relationship with other people, whether that's friendship with coworkers, whether that's romantically, however you want to see fit. But this is like, these are the people that know you. So we're going to be seeing what they find most charming, interesting, or alluring about you. Okay, we are bumping everything. Got lots of flying out cards for you today. So we're going to see what you got. Ooh, you have the Death card. Interesting. This is giving me this energy that, like, you know, the people who change hobbies constantly or constantly are changing interests or are changing from one job to the next job to the next job. Like I said, I felt like there was this feeling like you might feel like you're more chaotic than other people looking in feel, but the people that really know you are like, I mean, what they really like about you is that you're constantly changing, you're constantly maybe switching to new styles or allowing yourself to play with your identity. That isn't to say your identity never changes, that isn't to say your likes and dislikes never change, but when you do present yourself, you know, you know what you like, you know what you don't like in that moment. On top of that, like I said, you maybe just change careers quite often. Maybe you change your hobbies out. Maybe you change your fashion sense. Maybe the projects that you find yourself getting into, you're constantly cycling in and out of them, because the death card really talks about new beginnings and new endings, right? So these are just like a cycle that's going by and going by. So that's really what I'm seeing with this one. And I feel like what makes that attractive or alluring is the fact that you're also more resilient to and flexible. I think the word is I'm looking for. You're more flexible for things to change. I don't feel like you're super rigid. I don't feel like you're really kind of stuck in the mud with certain situations and things. If something needs to change, you're open to changing it as long as no one is pressuring you to do so. So there's a lot of authority, there's a lot of agency that's coming through, there's a lot of empowerment that's coming through with all of the cards that you're getting here. Like, I just feel like you know who you are, you know what you like, you know what you don't like, and you know that you're flexible to change if you so wish. It's not because of a peer pressure situation. So I really like that this card is coming up for you as well. I think you're just very flexible and resilient as well to things that come up in life. So I think that, like, in partners or people who look up to you in some way, I also think that they know that you're quite resilient to change that can come in quite suddenly, because, you know, that's a really attractive quality as well, is knowing that you can trust that the person you're looking up to knows what to do next, you know, or even if you don't know what you're going to do next, that you're at least honest about it. So I really like that this card is coming forward. And then for your final card, we're going to be looking into, like, the people who really know you, right? These are the people who, like, have known you since you were in diapers kind of thing, or the people who have been by your side for, like, ever. So we're going to be seeing how they see you and what, you know, is most attractive about you in that way. And quite magnetic as well. Keep looking. What do they find most attractive about you? Group one. People who really know them. Their ins and outs. All of those nooks and crannies. You know what? I'm actually going to take both of those cards that we had here. So you have the moon and the 3 of Wands here. And together, when I'm looking at these, the things that come forward, whenever I see the the moon here, it makes me think of intuition, a more magical side, a more mysterious side to you as well. So maybe you don't get very close to a lot of people, or, you know, the people that you do get close to even still find you a bit of a mystery, maybe because you do change things so often that it's hard, once they know that you change so often, that it's hard to always kind of keep up on, like, the next thing that's on the horizon for you, especially with this 3 of Wands, looking to the horizon to start something new, to start new projects, and to embark on a new journey. So I think people can also find you quite adventurous as well. And it doesn't have to be adventurous in, like, a travel kind of way, but more so that you, like, jump into things with 2 feet and then run right into them. Yeah, so I really like that this is coming forward, because it's telling me that even the people that are closest to you find you still to be quite a mystery, because you're constantly growing, constantly changing, constantly allowing yourself to explore and to be adventurous. So you have a lot of different interesting facets going on here. Some people find you super, you know, at the start to be very, like, one thing, but as we go on, you're much more complex as a person. So I really like that we're seeing more of this complex, you know, sides to yourself coming forward. But of course, I want to look a little further, so we're going to pull a archetype that's coming forward, and see how that might connect to the cards we have coming in, or more qualities to look at. So more alluring or interesting qualities about group 1 here. Okay, ooh, the priest. Not at all what I was expecting, but like I said, you are more mysterious. You definitely have more going on than from the start. So the priest here showcases perseverance and faith. And I definitely felt that perseverance, that resiliency, that flexibility coming through from you. But because we have this really big eye, and because it's also showcasing sort of a similar energy to the moon here, it's telling me too that what is very intriguing or interesting about you, that people find interesting, is also maybe your spiritual practice, your way in which you connect with the universe, gods, goddesses, with your own, with religion, or with your intuition, your magic, that kind of stuff, if that's something that you do participate in. And even if you don't participate in it, then that in and of itself can be interesting. So I do find that that's something that people maybe even look to you for. Like the fact that we have like the priest specifically is making me think too that people maybe look to you for as a figure, a higher up figure in something like that, whether that's another tarot reader, whether that's within a church, whether that's within a more religious situation. It all depends on, you know, what you believe, but I do think people really look up to you. We have a lot of, like, you know, people on horses, like people looking up to you, people, you know, looking up, almost like looking up at the moon for guidance. So I do think a lot of people find you to be quite really good at giving advice or sharing stories that can be really inspiring to help motivate and move people, especially since you have the Emperor as well, which can showcase someone who's quite a leader. So we have that coming through here a little bit as well, but I want to see some more. Obviously, we're going to keep diving. So let's look at some more facets of your personality, or the way that you move through the world that is interesting or intriguing to others. So you have the Seven of Paper, the cover, protection, beauty, and wholeness. So when I'm looking at this one, if we imagine, you know, that like sentence of don't judge a book by its cover, it's kind of giving me that same feeling. Like, people may look at you and assume one thing, like we were seeing here, but it's much more complex on the inside. So that's really what I'm getting here, of like the fact that if we're looking at the whole book, obviously there's a lot going on, but if you're just looking at the dust jacket of the book, just looking at the cover, then people are going to miss out on the beauty of the complexity of you as a person. And I think that the people who really know you know that what happens within the pages is much more important than what's going on the outside. But on top of that, this is also giving me this feeling too, for those of you who are interested in fashion, or interested in the way that you dress or the way that you express yourself, the tattoos that you have, the piercings, the accessories you wear, all of those different little details as well really add up to the whole. And in the way that you express yourself, I think a lot of people can find very attractive about you. You know, your beauty from the outside as well as the in. So with that said, let's go ahead and finish off some more of your reading with some charms, of course. So we're going to be doing some letter tiles and charms here today. So if you guys aren't familiar with how I do letters or charms, I have an entire master guide video on charm casting that might be intriguing or interesting to you. But we're going to look into first the letters. So this might be, if you're looking for specific people or specific initials that are going to come forward, this is the place to really look for them. But we're also going to look at other traits that might come forward. So what I find interesting is that they're all upside down, which is, again, that you don't give everybody the whole picture right off the bat. Even though you're who you are and you say what you are right from the get-go, I think that there's still, like, the most complex parts of yourself, it takes a while to get there. So we have the letter N, U, P, A, L, and R. So again, these might give you some indications on specific letters that are coming forward for initials, or even if you have enough here to spell a name. We have both lap and run here, which means maybe you're really interested. A lot of people who find you very attractive, maybe it's because of your more physical strength or flexibility, or even another aspect when it comes to your physique of in some way, but we have that coming through. I also saw pun, like you're very punny or silly in some way. We haven't had a lot of that coming through here, but we do have a little bit of that you can be kind of funny or silly, maybe witty even. I also see LARP showing up here too, so that might give us some more interesting aspects of maybe how or where people find you most attractive when you're maybe, out there LARPing or going to run fairs or things like that. Maybe how you use your creativity in that sense. But those are the letters that we have here. I want to look even further though, of course, by pulling you a little bit of some charms here to see what is most charming about you coming forward as well. So let's go ahead and pull some charms. Okay, so you have quite a few here showing up. We have the inner child charm, and then the creativity charm. I'm getting a lot more young energy that wasn't coming through with the rest of the cards. Like I said, there's this leadership, there's this grounded energy amongst the complexity that you have here of constantly changing things in and out of the way that you express yourself or the hobbies and projects that you find yourself being interested in. But then there's this dependable energy, because we have this almost Taurus energy coming forward with the bull here, but the inner child and the LARPing and the fun and the playfulness that was coming forward, the charms are showing this other facet of you that I think shows more of your joyous sort of young, maybe even creatively playful energy that I don't think everybody gets to see. There's this really silly energy that's coming forward. It's truly keeps making me think of an adult that learns how to skip again. If you've ever seen those kinds of videos where an adult has never skipped for a really long time, but then they learn how to skip again, and it's just that childlike joy that doesn't come out all the time, but when it does come out, I feel it just puts such a smile on people's faces, it's making me smile. So we have that coming forward. You also have the divine timing charm showing up here, which I find interesting. This one can talk about maybe there are people who you see in your life that are your soul connections, the people who are maybe a twin flame, if you believe in that, if you believe in soulmates, things like that. There's something like that coming through here in the charms with this divine timing charm and the heart here, that I feel you've been, there's this deep connection coming through. There's partnership with the number 2, so I really feel there is someone, like I said, I feel the charms are really showcasing the people who truly know you the most, that even beyond what we've shown here. And maybe it's that one person, maybe you know who that one person is in your life that you feel that close to, but it really feels it's a mystery to most. I feel to most people you're quite a mystery. People don't always get everything about you. Even though you're very much who you are, it doesn't mean that they always understand. But there is this one person that keeps coming through that gets to be the person that gets to see you skip, that gets to see you laughing and being silly and making jokes and, just truly being this very childlike version of yourself coming forward. But you definitely have this dependable energy that's coming in here too, with all of the gold and the Taurus symbol here as well. This almost grounded energy too. You're very complex. I mean, humans are complex, but sometimes the charms are this is who this person is, and it just keeps coming in and being that's who they are, that's who they are, that's who they are. And in your case, it keeps flipping, it keeps changing. It's very flexible. You're very flexible in your personality and how you show yourself. And I think the way that other people, see and view you is very different because you're such a kaleidoscope of things. So very, very interesting, very fun. I hope you enjoyed this reading here today, to look into your charms, to look into your cards, to see what's most charming, alluring, attractive, and just generally cool about you. If you did enjoy this reading, do be sure to give this video a like. Let me know in the comments down below how it resonated, different charms and cards. And also, if you haven't already, definitely feel free to subscribe, as I put out new readings every single Monday for love, career, spirituality, pick a cards. And I also do educational videos, like I said, on charm casting, but I also have ones on art magic as well. And if you want to support the channel as well as support yourself through a reading, then I currently have relationship readings out right now, where you can get a reading to look into any relationship in your life, whether that's a spiritual relationship, romantic, familial, platonic, even the relationship with yourself. We can dive deep, or as deeply or as little as you'd like, into any relationship in your life, but these are only going to be out for February. So if you want one for a snail mail reading or digital reading, definitely feel free to contact me down below. And thank you so much for hanging out, and I hope to see you in the next one. Bye! Hello Group 2, if you decide to choose this rose quartz heart as well as the little heart key here, then this is the pile for you to dive into how others from the outside looking in see you as a person. What is most attractive? What qualities do you bring to the table that they're like, those are great. Those are the things that make me want to hang out with this person, get to know this person. Why do I find them so magnetic, attractive, alluring, exciting to be around? So we're going to be doing that with the charms, as well as several different decks here, the letter tiles and the queer tarot, the threadbound oracle, and the citadel oracle, all of which I will have listed down below in case you're curious or you want to see more about each of the decks and supplies here. And also we are going to be starting off with, like I said, the queer tarot here. This is a very inclusive reading, so we're not only going to be looking into romantic relationships, but also platonic ones, familial ones, and how others find and see you as well. So definitely feel free to send your own energy into the cards, really connect with them, and we're going to be starting out with your big three. So if you think of like your sun, moon, and rising signs, if you guys are familiar with astrology, then this is going to be sort of loosely based or inspired off of that, as we are going to be pulling your big three. So we're going to be looking into first your card on the relationships and the people that you first are meeting, right? So new friends, new relationships in your life, first meeting coworkers, that person in the grocery store. What do they find most attractive, alluring, or interesting about you? And then we are going to get deeper and deeper into more deep relationships in your life. So from the surface level, from those very early beginning relationships in your life, how are they currently seeing you? How do first impressions come across from you? So we're going to see what's most attractive and alluring in that case. So Group 2, first impressions from people who are just getting to know you. What do they find most attractive about you? So right off the bat here, you have the Strength card. And in this case, the Strength card really showcases that big old rainbow, which showcases this feeling being reflected back in you of this resilience. This feeling that like people can, maybe when they first get to know you, they immediately know that maybe you've gone through some stuff, or they can tell, that you're a very strong person. You're very, whether that's physically strong, like maybe you guys work out a lot, or you really take certain steps to really get more flexible, or do strength training, core training, whatever it might be. It could be a more physical aspect, right? Or I can also see it like as you are more, like you have a lot of, or that you're just very mentally strong. or that you have just like a very strong heart, right? You have a very resilient heart. And so maybe you wear your heart on, you know, like more protected and less on your sleeve. Maybe people can tell that you have this protective quality about you, but that is what's coming through just on first impressions. But of course, we're going to look deeper. So now we're going to look into like closer friends, closer colleagues, people maybe you're dating right now, but you guys aren't in a serious relationship, right? Somewhere in between. So we're going to be seeing what they find most attractive about you. So what makes you so attractive to these groups of people? Group 2. So you got the 5 of Cups here. There is definitely this resilient energy coming through with all of your cards thus far, because the 5 of Cups can showcase, it can be a grieving card, it can be a card of, you know, if you think of this as like your emotions, right? Your emotions are being tipped over right here. Your emotions being like the water in the cup, and your water in these 3 cups is being spilled over. And normally this person would just focus on those 3 cups, and they would be focusing on all of the things that are going wrong, focusing on all of the things that aren't going their way. But then there's the few that look at the cups behind them, and yes, maybe it's not as much as they had before, but they're still finding that, you know, they still have things in their life. There are still things that they're looking towards. There's still stuff that brings, you know, joy to them, gratitude, or excitement to get up in the morning. And I feel like there's, you know, that half glass, the glass half empty or glass half full kind of people, and I feel like people find you to be the glass half full more often than not. And so that's what I'm seeing here as, you know, the people who are like your closer friends, maybe not your like best friends, but the people around you who can find you very dependable. They know that you're going to be able to bring a smile to their face in difficult situations that they might be going through, and also that you can give real advice too, and that can be very attractive as well. It can be a reason why people feel magnetically connected to you, because you may have gone through similar situations, and thus your perspective or point of view on the world is very similar. And so the fact that you have so much resilient strength coming through here, it's definitely showing a lot to the experiences you've had in your life and how that you've grown and learned from them. You know, we don't all grow and learn from our experiences. We don't all do a great job at doing that all the time, but there is, you know, a set of people who really truly take an experience that didn't really benefit them. They had a hard time, but still found the shining light at the end of the tunnel kind of feeling. So we have that coming through. People can find you to be that shining light, that sort of silver lining in their life. So maybe it's not the most obvious attractive trait about a person, but it is coming forward. So we do have that. But let's look at the people who know you best, right? So these are, you know, partners you've had for quite a while. These are best friends. These are maybe family members who've known you since you were in diapers, right? So these are those really deep, close relationships, chosen family relationships. So we're going to see what is coming through for you and how they find you most attractive as a person, as someone in their life, why they find you charming or a person to be around, what's magnetizing about you. So we have the Hermit here. And so the Hermit definitely tells more of the story in the fact that we have, like I said, that glass half empty, glass half full, and that you always end up, maybe not always, but you do learn from those lessons, the things that, you know, have spilled over your glass, and you learn from them and you continue to grow. And the Hermit is all about inner growth. It's all about taking the time to learn, to grow, to go inward, to reflect, and to go on a inward journey to continue to bloom. I was feeling really called to like the blooms on their t-shirt here. And in this case, I really feel like you are a kind of person who isn't too afraid, or maybe it's scary, yes, but you're not too afraid to go into that shadow self, to dive into the dark, deep stuff. And I feel like people what maybe makes them want to hang out with you is that you're very real. When you have a conversation with someone, you are very real. You get deep. You guys tell your guys' deepest, darkest secrets, the deepest, darkest things about yourself. And you're not afraid to share your flaws, that you're a flawed human, that you don't always get everything right, and that you're continuing to grow, and that you continue to try, and that once you know maybe that's not something you want to be doing anymore, you're not going to continue to do it because you're going to keep trying to grow and learn. So I think that's a really beautiful quality to have, and something that people, especially who are very close, right, would really find very magnetizing about you, because that means that they can be vulnerable with you as well, because you show a side of your, you get very vulnerable, you show a very real side of yourself, and thus they can, reflect that back towards you and not feel shamed or feel judged, but rather that it's a very safe place, and you create a very safe place for others to be themselves around, and to also share very vulnerable parts of themselves around and with you. So that's just your big 3 here, but I want to look even deeper. We're going to look into a archetype that a lot of people find comes out in you a lot and might be very magnetizing. So we're going to see what makes you most attractive, magnetizing, alluring, interesting, intriguing to get to know. Group 2. And as always, do feel free to send your energy in. To use your own intuition, your own judgment. Maybe you're seeing different things in the cards. Trust your own intuition, as always. But let's see. So you have the musician showing up here. Maybe you guys are a musician. Maybe you are very interested in DJing, music, dancing, clubbing, maybe... Yeah, so something about music is just in general, maybe you play an instrument, right? Or are a musician in some way as well. So we have inspiration and gratitude and the musician. So this is telling me that you are attractive in those qualities, right? From like a more practical level of thinking. But if we look at this even deeper, even if you're not a musician or you're not one of those things I listed, you might just be a very melodic kind of speaker. That's kind of the energy I got from this as well, is that you're a very melodic speaker. Maybe the way that you speak, the cadence of your words, the accent that you have, the tone of voice that you use with the people that you're around. I just think that a lot of people find you quite melodic to be around, or your voice is very melodic, or even if it's not melodic, right? It doesn't have to be angelic or, this beautiful voice. It can be something that's just like how deep your voice is. It could be how gravelly your voice is. It could be how confident you are with your words and the vocabulary that you use. But something around language, words, accents, and the melody and cadence of your voice is very attractive to a lot of people, and thus makes the archetype of the musician come forward for you. But let's look at some other archetypes or other words and qualities about you that are coming forward in this more positive sense. So group 2. What else is coming forward here for group 2? Okay, so you have the moon showing up here. There was also a bit of a moon over here. I don't know if you noticed it. There's a bit of a moon showing over here in the sky. And all this sort of, I don't think it's lavender, but it kind of made me think of lavender for some reason, or lilacs. And this like dreamy quality to you. That's maybe why that melodic energy was coming forward. But the fact that you got the moon as well definitely is giving me more of that melodic energy. Thinking of like, when you just feel you're very relaxing to be around. That's what I'm getting here. Like when someone wants to read like a good night story, or they want to, again, like a reading situation, or wanting to, the way that your voice comes out, that it's just very relaxing. You're very relaxing to be around. People can feel so at ease with you. They feel so safe with you. That's just totally coming forward. So we have the moon here, cycles, cleansing, destiny. A lot of the time whenever I see the moon show up, I always think of mystery and illusions and stuff like that. But it's not that you're an open book, but I just feel like people feel like they can just be so open, so vulnerable, so real with you, and that's just coming forward so much. There's such safety in your arms or in your words and the way that you present yourself and the way that you share advice or guidance with other people, or just are listening and open ear, right? Some of us just share our secrets and share our ambitions with the moon, look up towards the moon and find it very inspiring or safe to share with. And that's really what I'm getting here with this moon card, is just such safety. So I won't talk about each of them any more here because I want to dive deeper. So we're going to look into your letters as well as the charms here. But if you aren't, used to my videos here, maybe you're new. If you're interested in charm casting or you want to see more about charm casting, I have an entire master guide video on how to maybe begin charm casting for yourself. It's a very accessible form and more playful form of working with divination, so feel free to check it out if you haven't already. But we're going to look first with the letter tiles, and these are going to give us initials if you're looking for specific people who are maybe feeling this way, but we're also going to look into the oracle side of this as well. So let's go ahead and pull these. So first off, you have the letter B, R, and L, as well as O, A, and I. I immediately got bra and bro, ain't your bra, ain't your bro, you know what I mean? I feel like, that isn't to say that you're one of those things, but I just feel like people, they don't just see you as your bro or your bra. You're very sincere and very genuine, and I think people see you as a true friend or as someone that they would give a much more worthy, or even if that is a very worthy title, it just feels like it's not so surface level. It's much deeper. I feel like you can create very good, deep relationships with others. I almost saw brawl here as well. And not that you are a very physically aggressive person, but I feel like, again, it goes back to that strength side of things. So maybe you're very fit, or you're just very strong physically or mentally, and that comes forward again a lot here. But I also am seeing brawl as in you're very protective of those that you love as well. But those are kind of all of the ones that I'm really seeing here. I'm not seeing too much more, boy. But do feel free to let me know in the comments down below what you're seeing in any of these as well. But I'm gonna go ahead and move to the charms here and see what other charming attributes are coming forward and qualities about you. So definitely feel free to send your own energy into the charms, and let's pull some for you, group 2. Okay. So you are definitely a super secure person, because we've got the security charm, and this is the golden security charm, right? Because it's a little safety pin. People feel super safe around you. People feel very you can have someone, you're a person someone can tell a secret to, and you're really going to hold it. You're really going to hold those secrets. You're very just so safe, right? It just keeps coming forward in so many different ways. People look up to you as a leader as well. That's coming forward with the sovereign charm. This also can talk about too that you have sometimes a lot of pressure on your shoulders when it comes to that as well, in keeping promises or holding, other people's secrets and things, but I do think you do it very well. We do have more of that blooming energy that I was feeling earlier with their shirt here, and you're always constantly finding new ways to grow and to learn and to try something new, because we do have the growth charm here, turning a new leaf. We have the flip-flop charm here, which means too that you can flip and flop and change your mind, but at the end of the day, that because it's coming up next to the turn a new leaf, is making me think that you're constantly turning a new page, turning a new leaf, trying something else out, trying to continue to grow and be better. And I think a lot of people see that. More dependable energy here with the number 4 being a number of foundations, of strong foundations, safety, protection. And then you also have the foreign charm, which I think is interesting because I currently don't know this language or how to speak it or write it or what this even says. So whenever I see this, it usually means miscommunication. But in this case, because you had that musician card and the fact that like maybe you have a accent or a specific language that you speak, or maybe you're, bilingual or something like that, that's coming forward as well as a very attractive trait and quality about you. You're quite, like I said, you don't wear your heart on your sleeve, but once people do know you, right, the key is there. The key to your heart is given. And yeah, those are kind of all the charms that I'm really seeing here. It's quite simple, it's quite honest, and to the point. So really beautiful. Love seeing all of the beautiful qualities about you coming forward. If you did enjoy this reading, definitely be sure to give this video a like and let me know in the comments down below how it resonated for you. I'm always curious to hear your thoughts on the charms, your thoughts on the cards, how it resonated, maybe how it didn't. Always curious to hear. And if you haven't already, definitely be sure to subscribe as I put out different pick a card readings, art magic, and educational videos on charm casting every single Monday that may interest you. And I already have over 100 videos that you can see on the channel already, and feel free to check them out and go back to them. Lots of timeless readings. And if you want to get a reading for yourself, whether it's a reading that I send to you in the mail, typewritten on a vintage typewriter, or a more digital reading that's sent through email, or a Instagram DM, then definitely feel free to check out the relationship readings and all of the information on those down below and on my Instagram, to, support the channel and support yourself in getting a reading about a specific relationship in your life, whether that's a relationship with a spirit, whether that's a relationship with a loved one beyond the veil, whether it's with more of a romantic sense or otherwise. Definitely feel free to check those out. They are queer friendly as well as very inclusive and have lots of different options for different spreads and everything. So feel free to check those out to not only support yourself but also the channel. And while you're there, you're welcome to see the other offerings that I provide. But with that all said, I do hope that this has been useful to you, and I hope to see you in the next one. Bye. Hello Group 3, if you decide to choose this little chunky heart shape of Shungite, as well as this specific little heart, more simplistic key, then this is the pile for you to look into your most charming, alluring, magnetic, and interesting and intriguing traits about you and qualities about you that others see from the outside looking in. So this isn't necessarily the things you maybe know about yourself, and they may not always be true, because we're going to be looking from 3 different perspectives, as well as other more unique qualities coming forward with the charms, as well as the queer tarot, the threadbound oracle, the citadel oracle, and the letter tiles, all of which I'll have listed down below in case you're curious or you want to reference them. But we are going to be looking into what I'm going to call your big 3. So this isn't necessarily your big 3 in terms of like your sun, moon, and rising, but it was definitely influenced and inspired by that idea, and that we're going to be looking into 3 different aspects of the people that are going to be kind of finding these qualities about you. So we're going to be looking into like first acquaintances, people you're just first meeting, the people you meet in the grocery store, an interview, or a new friend, a person you've just begun dating or just have only gone like on one date with. How did they see you? Then we're going to look into friends that you've maybe known for quite a while but aren't maybe your best friends, and then we're going to go into like your best friends. So we're going to be going into and more deeply into the relationships in your life, and we're going to start out with some tarot cards. So do feel free to send your energy in to the cards as always, and also definitely feel free to use your own intuition as we move through this, see what's coming forward for you. I always like to preface that at the start, but let's see first from the outside looking in, what unique, interesting, alluring qualities are attractive to the people who you are just first meeting and getting to know. So let's see what the cards have to say for you, Group 3. Group 3. What's coming forward for Group 3 here? The people you're just beginning to meet. How do they see you? What is most attractive and alluring about you? Group 3. Definitely, like I said, send your energy, and it really does make a difference. You know what? I actually think it's the card below. Interesting. I might actually keep those two out here, but you have both the Fool and the Three of Swords coming up here. So this is telling me that from the outside looking in, and the people who you're first just getting to know and meet, there is this quality of being kind of naive, or kind of bubbly and naive and young, and you don't know everything yet. And I know, why would this be an attractive quality? Sometimes people want to get to know people who have sort of that heart on their sleeve feeling, and that's what I'm getting here, is that you've got your heart on your sleeve. You know that you might get hurt by doing this, right, with the swords in here, but you've got your heart on your sleeve, and you're just kind of trying to live your best life here. And so I think what people find most attractive about you and kind of magnetizes them towards you is the fact that you've got this inner child creativity, or this inner child sort of perspective, this dreamer, imaginative, and playful quality about you, this silliness that maybe they don't get to express themselves, that they don't always get to share with others, that maybe they feel nervous about, or have had to kind of, put protective walls up because they don't necessarily want to show that vulnerability right off the start and right off the bat. So the fact that you have that coming up here is telling me that right off the bat, people just getting to know you already know you have this unique childlike wonder about you, and in doing so feel very attracted to you. So with that already coming off, this dreamy, fun energy, let's look how your friends really see you. So these are friends, these are people you're just still kind of early stages of dating, first couple of years of knowing, that kind of thing. How do they see you, and what do they find most magnetic, attractive, or alluring about you? So Group 3 here. Cards are trying to jump now. They didn't want to jump at first, but they are jumping. So let's see what you've got here. So you have the Queen of Swords. Ooh, very different energy, where we're going from this childlike wonder energy. We also have that you're very intelligent, that naivety, or that feeling of being unaware that the world is real and harsh and difficult, and maybe you shouldn't be doing that. I'm getting this energy that even though people find you very attractive in the fact that you have these young childlike qualities, I also am feeling this envious feeling, this jealousy that they then lash out sometimes in saying well, maybe you should be more realistic, maybe you shouldn't be such a dreamer, maybe you shouldn't be acting like a child, or whatever it might be. There's this feeling that they don't think you're intelligent enough to know what you can and cannot do, and how real life is. And I think that you know how real life is. I think you know that life isn't always easy. You've had your heart, you've had your heartbreaks, you've had your lessons, you've gone through the difficult stuff. And I think that you're much more intelligent than people give you credit for, and the people that really know you know this about you, and they know that you, despite the difficulty in life, despite that, having your heart on your sleeve is such a vulnerable thing to do, you still do it anyway, because that's how you want to express yourself in the world, and that's how you want to be a dreamer. You want to enjoy life from that perspective, and you're not going to let the world dictate how you're going to live your life. You're going to just live your life, And so that's what I'm really getting here. You're very intelligent, you're a very responsible person, you're very aware of how the world works, and I think that people can see that in you. They can see your intellect, they can see that you've thought things through, and that you maybe don't get the credit that is due to you. And I think that that's an attractive quality about you, because your intelligence definitely shines through. So we have that for the Queen of Swords. almost kind of like your head in the clouds, but you know you're still holding that sword there, that sword of truth and that realism. So let's see a little bit further for you with now the deepest relationships. This is your best friend since kindergarten. This is the people who've been taking care of you since diapers, that you still have good still get on with. This is your chosen family. These are people that are your partners and the people you've been dating for a very long time. That kind of stuff, right? So we're gonna see what they find most attractive about you and magnetic, and keep them sort of, sometimes even on their toes. So we're gonna see what that is for you. Group 3. How do those most close to you see you, and what is most attractive within that? Oh, I love this. So we have the Four of Wands, and the Four of Wands can talk about it's kind of like a dating card, or it makes me think like that it can be like a very stable relationship, basically, is what's coming forward. So a lot of people, what they find very attractive about you is that you're someone they can really see and envision a long-term relationship, whether that's romantic, whether that's platonic, whether that's just always being by your side. I just think that they can find you as a very reliable person, and a person that they can rely on. And as simple as that might be, that's not always easy to find in other people, especially people we don't mesh with, especially in our go-to-go society. To find somebody that you can really depend on in this life, and especially someone with your unique perspective, from this inner child dreamy perspective, that's really beautiful to see coming forward. So what they find most attractive, and what keeps them attracted to you, is your dependability, the fact that they can really depend on you to be somewhere and to be there in that hardship, and to support them and celebrate not only their sort of beautiful qualities, or the qualities that everybody sees as such a beautiful celebratory quality, but also, you celebrate their flaws, you celebrate them fully and holistically, and that's really what I'm seeing here. So they just see you as a very dependable person, a very intelligent person, a very dreamy and real person. So even though people may find that kind of like that jealousy coming forward, at the end of the day, you're the one winning here by being able to have your heart on your sleeve and move through this world in a way that can be very genuine and real for you. So of course I want to look further, so we're going to look into an archetype that's coming forward as well. So group 3, an archetype coming forward to show off more of these more positive qualities about group 3 here. Group 3. What we got coming forward for you, group 3? Ooh, maybe this one? Ooh, so we have the Chiromancer, delivering news and collaboration. So not only do people feel you are very dependable and someone they can really rely on, but on top of that, someone that you can really collaborate with as well. That you're very, maybe you're a really good team player, or you're really good at organizing things or working together with other people. Maybe that bubbly, silly nature kind of, helps other people to open up their true, authentic selves with you, but that's coming forward. I also feel with the Chiromancer and the idea of delivering news too, is that you're really good at delivering news. Maybe like literally you are a delivery driver or something like that from a very literal standpoint. But also if like you're a tarot reader, or you're someone who wants to be really real with someone, delivering news or sharing news, I think that you're just very good at doing that kind of thing, right? Like not everybody's really great at delivering news. Some people are really bad at it, or don't really, they fumble over their words, or they don't want to tell someone, difficult or hard news to share. And I think you're really good at being able to do that and telling people, how it is and what's going on. in both a calm and supportive manner. So there's a lot of support coming through from this card. There's a lot of support coming through from especially these two cards, that you're very supportive as a person. You're maybe a motivator or a cheerleader for those in your life as well. I definitely got that as well. You could be like a motivational speaker even. So let's look further. So we're going to look into the Threadbound Oracle here for you as well to see any more qualities or traits to look into that are alluring, attractive, or magnetic about you. Group 3. Okay, so you have here the Two of Twine. What I love about this is, if you guys know, and I'll hold this up in a second, but if you know of how twine is made, it's literally intertwining two pieces of thread. And if you have too much tension on one side of the twine, or it's too loose on one side of the twine when it's being, twined or twone up, then it will just cause like an imbalance. But the fact that you have the Two of Twine showing up here is that you're very balanced, that you're a person who can create, that are very, oh my gosh, dependable is coming forward so many different times. You're a very dependable person, and that's very attractive, and hard to find, dependable people in their lives. So this is coming forward for sure. The Two of Twine, agreement, symbiosis, and compromise. So also you could be very compromising. I think that you're a person who can see both sides to things. You can see the in-between, the gray areas of situations, or see from the other point of view. You're really good at doing that kind of thing, especially with your unique perspective here and how intelligent you are with your words and how you present yourself. And I also am getting this because of like the Fool energy coming forward, and the fact that it has agreement here, that I think that you can be someone who can really fly by the seat of their pants kind of feeling, that you can, you're a kind of person that is just kind of a lucky duck, you know what I mean? Like, they just feel very lucky to be around you, very grateful to be around you, but also just in general, you're just like a lucky charm in people's lives. So I'm also getting that feeling coming forward as well. But let's look even further. So we're going to be looking into the letter tiles and the charms here in a moment. If you are new to my channel, I use charms a lot in my readings, and if it's something you want to look even deeper into, I have an entire video on charm casting and how you can create your own set, and it's a very accessible and very fun kind of divination tool to have on your side. So definitely feel free to check out that video if you're interested. But we're first going to start out with the letter tiles, and these are going to give you names, dates, places, that kind of thing. But specifically for this kind of reading, initials might be really useful. So we're going to be seeing that in oracle messages. I don't know why I thought I had another one, so I'm going to just drop another one in there. You know what? Let's drop another. I'm feeling generous with your guys' piles. See what comes through. So we have Z-I-E. I'm almost feeling like zine is showing up here. X-O-F and T. Interesting that foe came up. Maybe not saying that you have like a ton of foes or anything like that, but that envious feeling was coming forward. So again, you might attract people in, and this doesn't necessarily mean that, it's an attractive trait that you want to magnetize these people in, but just in general that you might be magnetizing people in who feel very jealous or envious of your personality or the way that you express and move through the world and your unique perspective. So that's just something to be. Some of you might be from Texas, as that's kind of coming up here as well. I also think you can turn, foes to friends as well in that way. We have a Z and an X here, so there's not a lot I can really write. But if you are seeing any specific words or specific traits or qualities, initials, names, that kind of stuff, then definitely feel free to comment them down below and let others know what you were seeing, or feel free to just mess around with them for yourself. But we're going to move on and look at the charms here. So we're going to see those final traits and qualities to finish off your reading. So definitely feel free to send your energy in, and these are going to give us a more unique perspective. So let's mix these up for you, group 3. Okay, so a lot more of the bigger, chunkier charms coming forward for you here. Not a ton of them. We only got a few here. Your unique culture is coming forward, so maybe the paisley always makes me think of that. It's also giving me like 70s fashion for some reason, so maybe your fashion sense is coming forward as well in the way that you, like the clothes that you wear. I'm honestly getting, like a lot of art teachers tend to wear very unique and different kinds of clothes, but they somehow pull it off. You know what I mean? It's like something you could never pull off yourself, but other people can pull it off really well. I'm getting that kind of feeling, like you're the art teacher of your friends, and the idea that you have a very unique sense of style in the way that you express yourself. So that's coming forward. Also in general, culturally, maybe the way that you express yourself and your specific culture being very attractive. We also have, or like the way that you express your culture in your life. You also have the patterns charm, which is giving me more of that energy too, of like the patterns that you wear, and the specific, like maybe you wear like paisley, maybe you wear a lot of patterns, and the accessories and things that you wear as well, or the way that you express yourself in that way. A lot of people really see that and find it attractive. We also have the forward movement charm too. So it also means that you're very you're a person who has a lot of aspirations, a lot of goals, a lot of projects, things that you're looking towards the future towards, or you see the future as something very bright, or something that is very tangible and in your hands already, and so that's coming forward as well. So your outlook is very attractive. We have the breathing charm. Whenever I see this, it makes me think of like breath work and things like that. So I really do think that maybe the way that you are, maybe you're a quite relaxing person. This came through a little bit in group 2 as well. So if you're feeling really called to that charm, feel free to check out group 2 as well. But then you also have like that you are very solid. We have all these little rocks here inside of this little container here. So I feel like, again, a lot of people around you can feel very envious of the fact that you have your heart on your sleeve, and so they want to be able to burst open and be able to be real with the world in the way that you are, and maybe that's a breath of fresh air for them, and that you're not so stuck in the idea of like doom and gloom. And then you have the brothers charm. So there's this feeling of like creating real, true relationships, like brothers in your life, sisters in your life, or creating real, even chosen family versions of that. And then also this is the illusions charm, but I'm not really getting a lot of that. I really felt called to the brother message here, that you can create really strong familial relationships, whether chosen or otherwise. So those are all of the charms and cards that I have here for you, group 3. I do hope that this has been useful for you. I just saw a fox here as well. That's kind of interesting, but those are all of the charms and cards that I have here for you, group 3. If you did enjoy this reading, do be sure to give this video a like and let me know. Sorry, I'm losing my voice here, but do let me know in the comments down below what you found to resonate most with you, or specific charms or cards that really called to you most. And if you haven't already, do be sure to subscribe, as I put out new videos every single Monday, most of the time for pick a card readings, but I'd like to sprinkle in some art magic and some charm casting educational videos in there as well. And if you have any pick a card readings or videos you'd like to see, definitely let me know in the comments down below as well. And if you want to support yourself and the channel with a snail mail reading, where I send a reading to you in the mail, or a digital reading that I send to you through email or Instagram DM, then definitely feel free to check out the relationship readings that I have out right now to look into any form of relationship, whether that's familial, whether that's spiritual, whether that's romantic or otherwise. Then definitely feel free to check out all of the information on that down below to dive deeper into a relationship in your life. Like I said, I'm losing my voice here at the end though, so thank you so much for hanging out here with me. Thank you for just showing up and being your true, unique self. And I hope to see you in the next one. Bye.